Hello everyone. I'm going to show you how to use the rectangular data file option only available in the research version of SALT software. The RDF provides an interface between SALT and other programs such as spreadsheet, graphic, database, and statistic packages that can input data via a text file. Let's get started. Open your research version of SALT software. Click on the Tools menu and then choose the Rectangular Data File option from the drop-down menu. The Rectangular Data File Selections dialog box is displayed. The first thing we'll do is select the SALT transcripts from which we want to generate analysis outcomes. The transcripts should be saved somewhere on your computer. In the Select Transcripts dialog box, you can access a reference database of transcripts, select an entire folder of transcripts, or select specific transcripts within a folder. I'll select a folder with all of the transcripts I want. The list of transcripts and their file path are listed in the Select Transcripts window. Here, you can either accept the selection or use the Browse buttons to select more transcripts for analysis. Click OK to confirm your selections. When you've found all the transcripts you want to analyze, click OK in the upper right-hand corner of the dialog box. The Rectangular Data File Selections dialog box is again displayed. You have the option to extract variables from the first speaker, typically the target speaker, or the second speaker. Next, it's time to choose variables. We'll start in the General Information and plus lines variables. I've selected to display the transcript file name and the analysis set in my outcomes. Let's look at the plus line options. The plus line variables dialog box allows you to display standard plus line information found in the header of SALT transcripts. I know my transcript headers include the target speaker's gender, and that's important for my project, so I'll include gender. I want the participant's ID to be included in my rectangular data file. I also want the participant's chronological age displayed in years and months. In the box labeled Other plus line data, you can type in non-standard plus line information listed in your transcript headers that you want to display in your rectangular data file. Once you've made your selections, click OK. In the option labeled Overview, you will find all of the variables from the Standard Measures report. Here, you can hand-select any variable by clicking into its checkbox. A great option when you want a lot of the Standard Measures variables is to use the Select All button. This automatically selects every available variable in the Standard Measures report. The transcripts I've chosen for analysis are narrative story retells from monolingual English white speakers. I'll uncheck the macro analyses that don't pertain. As well as percent utterances with non-mainstream forms, all of the discourse measures, and utterances with fluency codes, as my transcripts were not coded for fluency. I've chosen all the variables I'm interested in. A good rule of thumb is to use the Display key button. Once I've finished selecting the variables from this SALT analysis report, I click OK. In the first column, the variables I chose are listed. In the next column, the variable acronym is defined. The third column displays from which category in the Rectangular Data Files Selections dialog box you chose your variables. The RDF key is very helpful when you revisit a dataset for further analysis outcomes, or when you want to select the same variables on a different set of transcripts. Now I'll generate the data from all my selections. You'll recall I chose the transcript file name and to display the current analysis set from the General Information Variables selection box. From the plus line variables, I chose the participant ID, gender, and the chronological age in years and months. As we scroll across the output, you'll see the analysis outcomes from all of the variables I selected are displayed for each transcript. If you click the Repeat Same Selection icon, SALT will call up the RDF Selections dialog box. If you click Generate Data, SALT will repeat the same analysis on the current transcripts using the current settings. You could go back to the rectangular data file selections menu to display the dialog box and select more or different variables as well. We'll use the Reset button to start over and demonstrate other analysis options. SALT is confirming you would like to reset. Click No to remove the analysis variables we previously selected. Notice the transcripts from which I want data remain selected and available for further analyses. Now we'll use the Explore feature. The Explore dialog box is displayed. We're presented with selection criteria and variables choices. In the selection criteria, we choose an utterance base, either the analysis set utterances, total utterances, or utterances excluded from the analysis set. I'll choose total utterances from which to pull my variables. Now, select the Word and Code List option. In the Word and Code List dialog box, I might enter target vocabulary of interest, or I might specify combinations of words and codes found in my transcripts. For further details, use the Help option. I want to pull up the words in my set of transcripts that are marked with the error word code. And I'd like to call up some specific coordinators. In the Search Area section, I have options from where to look for my selections, such as in the main body words or just in mazes, etc. The Match Part options only apply to and affect words that are identified using the root identification convention. You can learn more about this in SALT's Help menu. The Code Type options are explained in detail in the Help menu as well. As mentioned, I'm interested in finding a word code and some specific conjunctions. Click OK once finished entering your selections. Again displayed is the Explore dialog box, where we can address the variables selections. Total selected utterances brings up a count of the utterances that contain at least one of the specified words or codes. In the Word and Code List item variables, I've chosen Number of Occurrences. This lists each word or code specified with the number of times they occurred. For an explanation of the other variables, see the Help option. Click OK. Click Generate Data. Here are the outcomes from our selections. Let's repeat selections, reset again, and start over. Again, choose No when prompted to save current selections. I'm using that same set of transcripts as well as the Explore option again. Select Standard Utterance Types. In this dialog box, you have a number of standard utterance types from which to choose. You can also use the Utterances With options to make selections. If you choose Utterances with mazes, you don't need to specify filled pauses, repetitions, or revisions unless you only want utterances which contain just one or two of these types of mazes. If you've made only one selection, in the Combine With section, OR and AND are ignored. Not will select all utterances that do not match whatever you've selected. If there are two or more selections made, OR will select all utterances that match at least one of the selections. And will select all utterances that match all of the selections. Click OK. and generate your data. Reset again and start over. Again, choose No when prompted to save current selections. We'll use the Explore function again and choose Utterance Length from the Select Criteria column. This option lets you select utterances based on their length in morphemes or words. Choose Words, and in the From box, enter 1, and 5 in the To box to select utterances with up to 5 words in length. Although the word encodes list, the standard utterance types, and the utterance length options were demonstrated independently, all or a combination of these options can be used together. This video covered the basics of using the rectangular data file. This is a great tool, especially when working with large data sets. Give it a try, and be sure to use SALT's help option if you need further details.